Alright, so we're back, of course, to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which you haven't really talked about in a while, though I did mention it in our last actual regular video upload, because our last actual video was a short that I put out. But I mentioned it kind of towards like the very end of the video, kind of right after the outro, before the actual outro video. I do that all the time with my channel. I don't know how many people stick around to the very end of my videos, but for the people that do, you occasionally get a little bit of extra content for things that I want to talk about or things I forget to talk about. Anyways, the update that we have is we're looking at a financial results briefing from CyberAgent. CyberAgent is the parent company to Applebot. Applebot is, of course, the team that is making Ever Crisis. We did a similar video almost exactly a year ago, May 11, 2022, and the information at that time coming from that Q2 financial results briefing was that the Ever Crisis was supposed to drop no later than September of that year. And that came directly from the president of CyberAgent. This wasn't like a rumor or what people were thinking or discussing online. Like, this was directly from the fucking president. And obviously, that shit never happened. Now, the update that we have for Ever Crisis as of right now is that there's still supposed to be a closed beta test for the game during summer 2023. And according to their stream they did a couple weeks ago, the game's supposed to release within 2023 at some point, right? Now, I would take all of this with all the salt you have, not just a grain of salt, a pinch of salt, a good entire salt shaker, maybe a bag of salt. They've been jerking us off about this game for more than a year now. Actually, this game was revealed early 2021, and we've had a couple trailers obviously by now, but we still don't even know when to expect this game exactly, other than 2023 as of right now. And I probably brought this up before in the past when talking about Ever Crisis, but I've been discussing this game on this channel longer than I've lived in my current house. This game was revealed like February 2021, and I moved here like August or September of 2021. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing, man? I feel like I've lived here for goddamn ever. And obviously they're supposed to be having like the first bit of the Crisis Core story as well, but it's like they never had to do that. That's going to be nice to have multiple different chapters and games and stories to play, but it's like I would have just been satisfied with one chapter to play at this point, because goddamn. Anyways, I gotta cut myself off. I'm just gonna keep going on a tangent and rambling. I started ranting about First Soldier all of a sudden. I was like, God damn, I gotta stop this shit. Anyways, they did stream about this a couple weeks ago, this like financial results briefing. And they actually had like an English like commentator, narrator over what they were talking about, which is kind of nice. I don't know how often they do that. And I'll just play the clip really quickly about Ever Crisis.
2023, we are going to be releasing these titles. We have Final Fantasy and Jujutsu Kaisen. And it is on par with our expectations right now, so I have great expectations for these two new titles.
Well, son of a bitch, I love the enthusiasm. I'm glad you're excited for this shit. She seems so underwhelmed, and she also just referred to it as Final Fantasy instead of saying Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. I don't know if she was just translating what he said or whatever the fuck. Anyways, the guy that's in the video is actually the president of CyberAgent, Susumu Fujita, the same guy who lied to us last year about the game releasing in September. So while it's potentially exciting that we could be getting the closed beta this year and the game's potentially releasing this year, I don't trust a word this guy says. Kind of joking aside, though, I do expect the game to hopefully release this year, but I mean, maybe it gets delayed again. Who the fuck knows what's going on? The main point of making this video, though, is that the game still exists, right? Because there's people that seem to think the game was going to get canceled, mostly because of the First Soldier stuff. First Soldier getting canceled, people were like, well, fuck, that means Ever Crisis is canceled too. And it's like, completely different dev teams, completely different games. It's never going to happen. And obviously, at least as of right now, the game's still dropping sometime this year. And I don't want to go on a tangent about First Soldier again, because the game's dead. There's no point talking about it anymore. But that game was dead on arrival, right? It was always going to fail being a mobile-only battle royale. Now, the last trailer that we did get for Ever Crisis was the Winter 2022 trailer that told us we're getting the closed beta in summer 2023. Like, that did show us a lot of the game, like menus and stuff, right? We actually broke down the video last year, and you got to see a lot of like the menus and how you start up missions and stuff like that. So it seems like the game is relatively far along, which is why I'm expecting it sometime this year. And obviously the hype is still there for the game to some level, but at this point I just need it for some FF7 content. Like, I mean, Crisis Core Reunion came out not that long ago, but still, like, I played that game before back in the day a lot. It's fun to re-experience the game and the story, but I need something a little bit new in my life. A newer interpretation of FF7. Also some new story elements and stuff, right? I'm always down for that. So that's why I've been looking for this game for a long time. I always said I wanted this more than I wanted First Soldier. First Soldier released and died before this game fucking came out. I never even thought about that till just now. Anyways, supposed to have a closed beta this summer. I don't know if that means there's going to be an open beta at a later point. That's what happens relatively often with games, but maybe they won't do that and just release the game at a later point. So again, barring any more delays for the game, since the closed betas happen in summer, I wouldn't expect the full launch or release until maybe fall to winter, but I guess that remains to be seen. Anyways, that is the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Social networks in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, @DavidYT. That's it. Bye. Are you maybe sticking around for some potential extra stuff here at the end of the video? Well, I don't have anything for you, but I'm glad you checked.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Rogaine, or leave it like Cobain.